What's up, folks? Welcome to Nino's Corner. Man, I'm with a good guest right now. A friend of mine I've met during this since really, I don't know, I started talking to you a few years ago, but we've been
Yep.
on the same path. And folks, I want to introduce you to a Mike Z. Mike Z is Mike
It's
Zildjian.
okay.
If you know the drum company, right? That's what it
Yeah,
is. The
drum cymbals. Yeah, those are my
drum cymbals.
cousins.
Yeah, that's a big name in the music industry. I mean, that's
Yeah,
huge.
yeah. It's
Oh
the
man.
the only tattoo I have is that logo.
I wish I had
Luckily,
all kinds of
smart enough.
tattoos, but
I was smart enough to stop after that one.
I wasn't. I mean, I can contain myself, but I know some people that take it to another level, man.
Oh man, I look around now and I'm like, guys, what are we doing? Like,
Yeah.
just stop.
Stop already.
I knew
But
when I was living in Hollywood, I knew this beautiful girl, gorgeous. She had a full back tattoo. And all I could think was, I wonder what that's going to look like when you're in your 70s.
yeah. Well, they live fast, die young, maybe. I don't know. I mean, some chicks can rock that though. Some chicks can rock
Yeah,
it.
no,
It's
I get
sexy,
it, but like I'm
but
talking
only for a
full
while.
back. Like you could put a couple cute ones on there and they'll still look good as you get older. I don't know.
What about,
But
like now, when chicks used to get those tramp stamps back in like in
yeah.
our day, right? Like now they're like going down their ass, like running down
Oh
their
yeah. And it's like open here, right? Dude,
yeah.
I knew this guy in in LA who swore he was straight and he had a tramp stamp tattoo. And I was like, dude, I don't know.
That's as bad as getting like
I
a
don't
belly
know,
button
man. Yeah.
fucking piercing, bro. Man, but well, look, I wanted to let everyone know. Listen, I've been sober now 4 years, and you've joined me in this journey. So, and it's not easy, is it? It's difficult. I mean, you've been sober now 8 months. You've
Yeah.
lost a lot of weight, by the way.
Well, that's
I can tell. I
mostly
see it.
the first 6.5 months of not drinking. I didn't lose any weight because I was eating like shit. But
Yeah.
these last 3 weeks since the new year, I've barely been eating just to clean my body out. So that it comes off fast when you do that. But obviously, not drinking helps a lot. Like you, someone asked me today, I played golf with a couple buddies that are in town from Alabama, and they're like, well, why? My buddy's like, well, why'd you stop drinking? I'm like, well, because I was really good at it.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
and like you, I'm not your size, but I could just drink all night, man. Didn't
Dude,
bother
why
me.
does everyone say like everyone looks at you like something's wrong with you when you say you stop drinking? You notice that? Like, oh, geez, wow, you had a problem.
Mostly it's been cool. I'm from Boston and there's some guys up there that were like definitely, but they've seen me do really silly shit when I'm drunk. So when they ask me, why'd you stop drinking? I'm like, remember that time we played poker at your house and you made me sleep over and then you woke up and I wasn't there and my shoes were there, but your slippers were gone and I drove home? That's why I stopped drinking
Yeah.
because I don't trust myself,
I wish
man.
I had stories like that, bro. That's like
Yeah,
G-rated.
yeah. That
That's like
you said G-rated. You wanted to
no,
do
no, it's fuck you. But
that.
I mean, my stories are like, oh, woke
Oh,
up in
believe
jail
me.
not knowing what I did.
Oh,
With
I've
a
never
DUI.
done that.
I remember I woke up in jail one time and my knuckles were swollen and I had no idea why I was there. And I just knew I got arrested for a DUI, but I did not know. It was scary because I didn't know if I killed somebody. I
Oh
had
God.
no recollection of why I was in there. Like I couldn't figure it out, and that scared the shit. That scared the shit out of me. I thought, dude, this is I'm probably going to jail for life. And just sitting there for hours in a cell, a small
Oh
whatever it
man.
was, 6 by 6 cell with the slat, trying to get answers. They didn't want the DOs were just not even talking to me. Nobody wanted to talk to me. I was sitting, I had no I didn't know why I was there. That was that right there was probably the single moment in my life that I'm like, Lord, I got on my knees. I'm like, you get me out of this one, I'll quit forever. And I still
Yeah.
didn't. I still went on
Yeah,
for about
of
a
course.
year. Yeah,
Of
you don't
course.
quit. You just, yeah, you got me out of this one. Well, that was close.
I've had those, man. I've had those. And, here's the G-rated version of that. I was a concert promoter up in Northern California. After the shows, we would go to the local dive bar, a cowboy bar, and I'd walk back to my hotel. I'm walking back to my hotel one night, shit-faced, and this cop stops and he's like, what are you doing? And I'm like, well, I'm walking to my hotel, however, And he's like, well, you seem pretty drunk. I said, I am. That's why I'm walking.
Yeah.
And that fucking little bastard arrested me for drunk in public. They never charged me. And
Can you believe that, man?
the
Instead of
people
giving
at the
you
jail, dude, if man, I wanted to. light this kid up. He was totally the kid that got beat up in third grade.
Yeah.
And, now he has power. I'm like, what are you doing? I'm literally not bothering anybody. And I'm 100
You're
yards
doing
away
the
now.
responsible thing. You're walking home.
Right. Right.
The
But
same thing
again,
happened to me.
like to the point, like now, for me now to get into what we're talking about tonight, I can't put myself anywhere near a position right now with the stuff that we're doing, right?
No, no, exactly. And that happened to me one time. I was walking one time. I was walking. I remember I was walking out of a bar, and it's like they asked me, "Where are you going?" And I was stumbling. I was like, "I'm gonna go catch an Uber." They're like, "Yeah, you think you're gonna go catch an Uber, huh? You know, you're." They got me for public intoxication. They came. They couldn't put. And at that time, I was training really hard. And believe it or not, I was still out drinking. I used to juggle extremes. Anyway, but I was in shape. I was, ready to fight anybody. They put the handcuffs behind me, and they had to use two pairs of handcuffs because they wouldn't fit me on my back. So they got two pairs of handcuffs and put me on my back. And I was just asking that guys like, how you guys getting off on this shit? They're like, oh, don't you have a fight coming up? They're talking to me like that. I'm like, is this what you guys are doing? Is this what this is all about? You just want to take me in? You're getting off on this? And I was talking to them like this.
Yeah.
And the whole thing is that I was trying to do the responsible thing. I was trying to catch an Uber and just get in the Uber and go home.
Right.
But I was stumbling, I was drunk. And sure, yeah, that's why guys like me, I'm a target, dude. And now more than ever, I'm done with that shit.
You're a
There's just
huge
no
target.
reason to do this anymore. And you too, because now you're really picking up on the podcasting, and it's like
Yeah.
you got
Yeah,
everything to.
I got a big target. I mean, I'm not going to talk about it on this show, but I've been going after some people that don't like it. And I mean, you've been doing that for quite a while. When you do that, they come after you. So, you got to be careful and you got to have your shit together. I have one you just reminded me of. I did wake up drunk. I got in a cab in South Carolina. I was out drinking with my buddy, went to a strip joint, the whole stupid shit. He's like, I can't find him. I'm like, screw this. I'm getting in a cab and going. This was before Uber. I'm getting in a cab and going back to his house where his wife lives, that I also went to college with. So I get in the cab. I wake up at the police station. They're knocking on the window, bro. And they're like, same thing. They're like, what are you doing? I'm like, I'm catching a cab back to my buddy's place. And they're like, well, you seem pretty drunk. Same line. I am. That's why I'm in a cab. And they're like, well, get out. And I'm like, no, I don't want to do that. And they're like, well, show us your ID. And I'm like, okay. I stick it against the window. They're like, well, we got to call your friend. I'm like, go ahead. I'm not getting out of the cab because as soon as I got out, I'd be drunk
Yeah.
in public and then throw me in jail.
Yeah, and it's like anything that's just what I've noticed. And with me, it's like the last time I got a DUI, I didn't they pulled me over because I didn't use my blinker. And they're like, "Do you know why we pulled you over?" I have no idea. They're, well, you didn't use your turn signal. I was like, "Really? Okay. All right. Give me a ticket." Oh, well, you need to step out of the car. I was like, "Oh boy, here we go." And
Here we
that's how
go.
it starts. It could be for anything. It
Yeah.
could be absolutely for anything. So when I saw the lawyer, so this was in California, one of the times, and folks, I did have a drinking problem. There's no doubt about it. That's why I'm openly discussing it right
Me
now.
too. Me too.
Yeah, I mean, you just we're talking about it, but it started happening more consistently. The cops pulling me over, it started happening more consistency. It's like I started attracting that type of negative energy into my life, and I was like, you know what? The only way to stop this completely is cut out the alcohol. Is just cut it out completely. And I believe in that. I believe that once you cut the source, then your life starts getting back to normal. It starts coming back into you start bringing in good energy and that life just anyway, the time before that I was in California again, fell asleep at a Jack in the Box window. Cops knock on
At
the
the
window and they go
drive-through?
at the drive-through, dude. Fell asleep. They knock on the window and I look at them and I go, oh, thank you very much. And I just drive off. like as if thank you for waking me up. And the guy looks at the cop looks at the other cop, and then they just turn on their sirens, pull me over, and that was a wrap. So I mean,
Oh, man.
it's one story after another with this stuff, and it's just like it never ends. But now I can sleep at night, and I don't know about you, Mike, but I can sleep at night knowing like I don't have to go through that anymore.
Yeah, I don't want to be looking over my shoulder right now, like we were talking about. And I knew this year was going to get crazy. You talk about that a lot on your shows, so we don't have to talk about it here. I know we're talking about
We
different
can talk
stuff,
about it
but
a little bit as long as we just keep
yeah,
it
no,
clean.
but we don't need to. It's like we know it's going to be a crazy year. Make that into whatever you want, right? Look around, there's all kinds of stuff going on.
There's
And
already aliens at the mall in Miami. I mean, this
and
is
and we're talking about this stuff publicly, you and I and many others. And if there are bad people out there that want to stop us from talking about it, we can't give them any reason to. It's actually, again, being doing this forces you to be the best person you can be because you can't give them any opening or they'll take it.
because why? It's a spiritual war. See,
Yeah.
that's what I believe in first and foremost. This is completely 100% spiritual.
Mhm.
And they'll use other, and the way that these demonic forces work, in my belief, is they use the weakest link around you. So
Yeah.
whoever is the weakest link or whatever situation is irking you at the moment, it'll intensify, or a person next to you will break down or cause you to try to get you to fumble the ball. It's all your, and right now is the best time just to be, for me at least. I don't have many people around me. I don't know about you. I don't have many people around me. In fact, I have slim to none.
Same. I keep a pretty tight circle. I mean, I got really good family and friends. But Nino, I don't talk about this ever, but I'm going to start talking about it because I think people need to understand it more. I haven't even dated since late 2020 when I found out we were in a war. Once again, I was like, I don't trust myself. What if I end up with someone that doesn't have my best interest, the country's best interest? Like, and I can't have that distraction. I need to be focused on this. That's not fun and great, but it also has been very freeing because it's something that I've broken another sort of addiction of always chasing tail and shit like that, right? And then you make bad decisions when you're doing stuff like that. You
And
know,
also, I've noticed, like, what ties all this together, friends and women and the whole thing, is drinking. I didn't realize how much that ties a social life together. You don't
Mhm.
call your friends and you're like, hey, let's go have lunch. That just doesn't happen. You know what I mean? It's always, hey, bro, meet me at the bar. Let's have a few drinks. That's what it was always about when I was growing.
Always,
It's never,
always.
hey, you want to go have a salad? It's not like that, dude. Right?
Yeah.
And
Yeah. No, I mean, look, I don't go out much, but I do like I went and played golf today and a couple guys in the group were in town from out of town. They were cruising. Doesn't bother
yeah,
me at
and then
all.
they go out afterwards and get drunk. And where do you go? Home?
Yep.
There you go. See,
Well, I had to come home to go to work. I had two shows before this, so
yeah.
it's easy. It's actually been honestly, Nino, when I stopped, I thought, I hope I can make it a few months because I've never it's now been almost 8 months, coming up on 8 months in like a week and a half or something like that. That's the longest I haven't drank in 35 years since I was in my teens or, mid-teens. But
Yeah.
still, like it's crazy when I think about it like that. I'm like, Jesus, dude, what was I thinking? And
What age did you start drinking?
14, 15.
Me too.
I mean,
That's
I
about,
got drunk first time at 12, but I
yeah.
started drinking
No.
at like 14.
We were going
Um,
to 𝗏𝗏𝗏's here on the border. We were going to J-Town by the time we were 13, 14 years old, getting
yeah,
hammered
yeah, you
in
could do
bars. I
anything
mean,
then.
it's just like, what, that's a different culture here.
Yeah, totally. Totally. And again, it just became such a big part of my life. So I didn't know how I would feel about it. I've been out to restaurant bars and all kinds of stuff, been around tons more people since I stopped drinking than I was before because I didn't trust myself to not drink too much. It doesn't bother me. I don't have any urge. Like out on the golf course today, I was like, oh, it'd be cool to have like, one shot. My buddy had a bottle of bourbon. Then I was like, I would just feel like shit. I don't even like want that.
Mentally, dude, mentally, you do that shit, you'd feel you broke if you do
Oh
it.
yeah, yeah.
You
But
would
I
feel
did
like
it.
I
Like
failed.
the thought went by, and then I was like, whatever, I'm gonna hit my tee shot now. And then I just moved on with my day.
Do you still have dreams? I have dreams of like getting hammered, or like it's always with like friends or like women that I'm just getting drunk, and I always feel really guilty in my dreams, dude. I feel like, I guess you could call them nightmares, I guess,
Yeah.
but I'm always drinking in my dreams. Like, it's not often. I have them probably every few weeks, but I'm always just, and I know that I'm doing something wrong in my dream.
I used to, the first few months I had that. I think I was texting you about that. I'm like, dude, is this normal? Because it's happening a
Right.
lot. And it was freaking me out because they were so real, right? Like you feel like you actually did it. But I also, at those times, even in the dream, I was like, okay, so this is now day one now. Tomorrow is day one. You just start over. Like, and somehow something from above was preparing me, like, if you break, you're just going to start over again. So don't even bother. It's not even worth it. Right. So
Yeah.
I haven't had that in a while. And like I said, it's been really weirdly easy. There's been a couple days, people are shitty. You're like, you want to forget your day, or I have some lower back pain from time to time. You want to numb the back pain. I miss that kind of stuff. Or there was a time at first when I wasn't sleeping when I stopped, and I missed being able to rip down a couple shots and knock myself out.
But you going
But
on, did you go like the first 6 months for me, I was doing a lot of sugar binging. I was like eating a lot of Reese's and M&M. I would go to the 7-Eleven and grab a Coke
like
and
yeah, for like I said, for about 6 months, I didn't lose any weight without stopping drinking, and I didn't lose any weight, and it's because I was eating like shit, and a lot of that was sugar for sure.
I actually gained weight the first 2 years because I replaced it with food.
Yeah,
I and then not till I started like a lot of the supplements that I take now and the cutting out food, basically fasting. I started implementing that with everything I'm doing.
yeah,
I think the reason that you and I think it's a spiritual thing. I really do believe it's a spiritual thing because I think
yeah.
you're called for a time like this, and a lot of people that are listening to this probably feel the same way, that we're
Hmm.
all called for this time, and you need to make adjustments and fine tune yourself because we know we're going into uncharted waters, and we
Hmm.
know where we're going, and we know that this war is about to pick up, and it's 100% spiritual, and everything's on the line. And for me, for like what we do, I have got to be 100% going on all cylinders. I cannot be at 95%. I can't be at 80%. I got to be 100, 110%, just like going into a fight in boxing, because this is serious stuff, man. And we know what's on the line. Everything's on the line. Everything is on
Yeah,
the line.
yeah. And look, you said it. This last few weeks, like I really decided, okay, I'm gonna, the for last year was the first year I really took podcasting seriously, but this year I'm like, okay, now I have to do it like almost every day if I want to grow a platform. That's the only way it works. And I have been, and I haven't been sleeping much because I've been working so much. There is zero chance I would be able to do this if I was drinking. There's no way.
I thought about you tonight, man. I was having some struggles, and you just popped in my head. I was like, I wonder what Mike Z's up to, man. I know he's newly sober. I still say I say I'm newly sober and I'm 4 years,
Yeah.
So you're a baby, you're an infant.
I did a show with 𝗵𝗵𝗃𝗃, the hockey player
Yeah.
earlier tonight. He's 6,600 and something days sober.
Wow. How
And
many years?
uh
Yeah.
and he's been at it for a long time.
Yeah.
But he was
Hey,
a
yo.
he was a hockey player, man, and those boys can drink, you know.
They take a lot of shots too, man. Those dudes literally these
Oh yeah.
shots and these shots.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. And
I think about that also. I'm like, why hurt my body any more than it's already been hurt? I have lower back pain, my hands hurt, my face, my brain. I don't know I don't know what's going on in there, but you know what I mean? I'm gonna try to save whatever I have left, that's for sure, man. You know what I mean? So I don't know. We're going into this time, we're going back to what I was saying, that there's going to be some massive revelations, and I'm dealing with it. And I think a lot of the people watching this right now, you're probably dealing with this in your personal life.
yeah.
Whatever's happening on the scene, whatever's happening in politics, whatever's happening in Hollywood, we're all dealing with our own shit personally. And we're going to be forced to look in that mirror and confront our demons, each and every one of us. This is not just when I say this is spiritual, this is going to happen not just in the government, politics, the entertainment industry. This is going to happen at a personal level. So I'm asking everybody who's watching this, you have got to really buckle down, pick your lane, and better yourself. You've got to, iron sharpens iron. You've got to get busy putting your vest on, your shield and getting your sword and understand we're going into a massive, massive spiritual war. That's how I look at this.
It is, and it's on every level. It's not just drinking. I have friends who are awake that are still send me those silly messages of like they've daughters in college, and they're like, "Hey, did you see this college volleyball game with these girls?" I'm like, dude, do you understand what we're doing right now? We're removing the sexual abuse of children from the world. Don't talk to me about that shit. I don't care. I know we used
Yeah.
to joke about that and it used to be funny. It's not funny anymore and it's gross. Like those
Yeah.
those things too, like every bit of our lives. And I'm not saying I've got it figured out and I'm perfect. I'm saying I work on it every day to be my best, right? And that's what everybody has to do. Whatever those things are that are holding you back from bringing your best to whatever it is, especially a spiritual war where everything is on the line, you've got to do it.
Cut people out, dude. I mean, for me, that's what I've done. I mean, and, the first 3 years, I was like, man, this person, I love this person, but every time I'm with this person, there's some funky energy, something weird going on with them, or their girlfriends get really catty towards me because it's just weird shit, bro. And then that right there, I'm like, you're gone. But I don't even deal with it anymore. I'd much rather be alone in my space, in my little vortex, than dealing with I can't take on the load. I cannot take any more negative energy. The stuff we're covering, everything happening in the industry, the Hollywood stuff, all that stuff is such a heavy burden. And listening to it every day, I don't have time for any other shit.
Mhm.
Nothing.
Yeah, it occurred to me in late 2020 that, this is a spiritual war. The Great Awakening is about raising our spiritual consciousness. Some people call it ascending to a higher dimension. And then it occurred to me at that time, wow, there's a lot of people I care about that aren't going to be coming with me. And that sucks. But look, do you want to go there or do you want to hang around down here in lower dimensions because you feel bad? Like, I'm sorry, not sorry. I'm going that way. You go
Yeah,
wherever you want. I'll see you when you get there.
100%. I was talking to Gene Deco today, and I did an interview with him, and he was talking about the physics and science behind hell and what it is. It's called the Underverse. And the
Yeah.
portals that lead up to the whole CERN project, everything was he says allegedly is accessing the portals to the Underverse, and it's a real thing. And what they're doing with CERN and a lot of other places, those kids at the Miami Mall and all this, they're accessing these portals to the Underverse instead of the
Hmm.
universe or multiverse or whatever you want to call it. It's called the Underverse. It's hell. It's a
Yeah,
lower dimensional existence, and they're
exactly.
bringing these entities up. It's actually real, man, and I believe this is real. And I think that's what we're fighting against right now. And if
Yep.
you're weak in any way, shape, or form, if you are weak, you become a host to these parasites.
Yeah. Yeah. If you give them 1 inch, any opening, look at all the stuff you do and how many people follow your shows and all the information you put out there. And of course, you take a lot of shit because you just put all the information out and let people decide for themselves. But imagine that's one of the bad guys, whoever they are, one of the higher ups is like, well, we want to take this bastard off the playing field, and you give them one slip, you have one beer and driving down the street and get pulled over, and they decide that you're drunk, even if you're not. Like you
Yeah.
just can't take that chance right now.
No, I can't. Like you said, we are targets. They would take you down so fast.
Hmm.
I just know that where we're at right now in 2024, man, this shit's about to intensify. So imagine like it's I guess like what what can I say, a frequency. It's just gonna go and you would understand this with music.
Hmm.
It's gonna just that's what this is gonna be like this year.
Yeah,
It's already starting. What's weird is gonna get weirder. Weird only gets weirder. And it's
it's
gonna
gonna
get
get
even weirder.
it's gonna get really weird. I mean, look at we're not even 3 weeks into the year, and look at all the shit that's happened already. It's nuts, and it's only going to intensify into the end of the year, the election time. There's astrology that points to the same thing around that time, that it's a big game changer, probably in the positive, which is probably good for people like us who are already on board with the guy that we like.
But
Um,
yeah, but here's the thing is that we're all going to be forced. My point is we're all going to be forced to look at our own lives and look at our own messes.
That's
I don't
correct.
every person watching this right now has something in their closet, some kind of skeleton in their closet they're going to be forced to look at.
Yeah, because look, this country is supposed to be self-government. We've never done it because they've never let us, but also because we've never been ready for it. With great power comes great responsibility, the Spider-Man line. And if we're going to govern ourselves, which I believe we are, we all have a lot to learn. And a big part of learning that is what you're talking about now, getting rid of bad habits, whatever they are.
And I think the people that are going to be the casualties of war, the people that are going to really die off, man, are the ones with, still buying into all the bullshit, still walking around paranoid, scared of everything. They're the ones
Yeah,
I look
because
at them, dude, I look
well,
at
if
them like
you're
chemicals.
you're in fear all the time. So you're in fight or flight mode all the time. And the human body is not made to sustain that kind of stress. So those people that have been on level 10 of stress for 3+ years now, go 4 years now almost, that's going to be rough. A lot of them aren't going to make it, I don't believe.
With this, I mean, we know what that's bringing. I mean, this is it. This is fifth dimensional or fifth generation. I guess you could say dimensional as
It's
well.
both. It's
Warfare,
both.
yeah. And I
Yeah.
mean, we're all gonna have to really look in the mirror and decide what we're gonna change. And I'm asking everyone who's even watching this, what are some things you need to cut out of your life, right? Like look at me and him. We did it. We and it's still a struggle, man. Tell me this isn't you're saying it's
No, no,
for me,
I'm just, I don't want it to put it out there that people think, oh, it's easy, just do it. I'm kind of shocked at how easy it's been for me, thinking it would be a vicious struggle. And it hasn't been because God is guiding me. He said, it's enough of that. You had your fun. You did it. And I did. I don't
you mind
miss
me
it at
asking how
all.
old you are now? How old you are
Yeah, I'm
now?
gonna be I'm gonna be 50 this year, which is part of the reason
Oh,
why,
hey, I'm right there with you.
yeah, part of the reason why I decided to stop. I was like, I should do something nice for my body for my 50th birthday coming up. Why don't I quit drinking for a year? And I had some friends that had quit and been a few months into it and they were feeling really good. I have other friends like you that were encouraging me that had quit years ago. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. And I actually was giving myself to my birthday, which was July 1st, and I stopped a month early. I was like, you know what? Why do I need to drag this out for another month? I'm done. I'm
Yeah,
done.
that's it. And you know what? A lot of people ask me, why don't you go to the AA or 12 steps? I'm like, dude, when I make up my mind, I stopped cold turkey. That was it. I don't need anything else. I watch some YouTube videos here and there. What's fun, here's what blows my mind is the friends that I was drinking with the last after boxing, really the last 5 years before I went sober, which I call the misery phase of my life. And the last when I retired from boxing, I was miserable. I didn't know what I was going to do with my life. I was broke. I was just wandering the planet like a sloth. I had no direction, dude. I thought about doing this. I thought I had all kinds of,
Yeah.
bad thoughts. I mean, demons were really
Yeah.
taking control of my life. But the friends that were with me during that time, obviously drinking with me, and they would always tell me, dude, you're crazy, Vato. You're nuts, man. Dude, you gotta stop. You're crazy. They're dead. They died. Once I quit drinking, they kept going. And somehow or another, they always pointed at me and said, man, you're crazy. Because they know what I've been through. I overdosed. I passed away on that. I was
Yeah.
brought back with a defibrillator. I got knifed in the throat another time, almost died there, lost pints of blood. And they're telling me I'm crazy. And guess what? They're gone. Like
Mm.
four of them are gone. They all went away in 1 year. And I'm thinking to myself, how, bro? Like, how did that even? I mean, the guys that told me I was crazy, that
Yeah.
pointed at me and said I was a crazy one, they're gone.
I've known a couple people in my life, neither of them were very close, but that literally drank themselves to death. And it's very sad. I mean, when I was in Hollywood and doing all that drinking, I did have a friend who was older, he's about 10 years older than me, and he pulled me aside and he's like, "Oh, Z, you gotta stop, man. You know how many friends I've lost to this shit? You're doing the same shit as them." I'm like, you don't know what you're talking about. I got it, you know? And that seed was planted a long time ago, and it did get me to pull way back over the last, I don't know, 7, 8 years even. There's probably only a handful of times I've been real drunk over that time, and that used to be twice a week, 3 times a week. And so that led me to this point where I was able to say, you know what, if I did that, I can certainly stop. And I've kind of fantasized about stopping drinking for a long time. Like, I wonder what it would be like to just be free from that and be able to not drink and just have fun. And, when we were kids, they didn't talk to us about anxiety at school like they do now, right? I didn't learn about anxiety probably till I was in my 40s. And I was like, shit, why didn't anybody tell me about this earlier?
They always told me I had a disorder when I was boxing. I always had a lot of anxiety, and my managers and trainers would be like, "Bro, you got to really control that. Hey, it's a disorder." I'm like, "How do you control it? I'm getting ready to fight one of the best guys in the world, man. I'm nervous out of my
Right.
mind. What are you
Yeah.
talking about? What do you mean control it, man? I couldn't
Yeah.
comprehend that. I'm like, I'm a nervous,
Yeah.
and
This
I would
guy
take
could kill
sleeping
me
pills. Bro,
if I slip up. This
one
guy could
wrong
kill
hit,
me.
slip, it's done. And I used to think about that, and I would stay up for nights. Before fights. This is true fact. I didn't sleep for like 2 weeks before a fight, man. I was nervous.
Really?
I'd get
Wow.
3 hours of rest a night, light sleep, and I would still be training on adrenaline, and then still having to spar and fight these guys in the gym, and then be going into a fight, man. Seeing tracers, bro. Like I would be so tired. But so much adrenaline would be in my body, and that's how I'd get through it. But I got addicted to sleeping pills at that time. So
Yeah, I was too for a while because I was drinking so much. Mine was different. I was drinking so much. So what people don't realize is in the short term, drinking will help your anxiety in the social situation. But guys, think about it. What does the next day feel like when you wake up? The anxiety is almost crippling, which is why most people will take a shot or smoke some weed or whatever, right?
yeah.
Um,
Yeah, you fill it with something else. What does everyone do right now? They go get hammered, they're on Adderall. Like what this is I mean, they take Molly, ketamine, whatever. They take it all while they're out.
I've tried it all, as have you.
Yeah, and then the next day you feel like crap, so you take a Xanax or you take something like that to
I
get
used
you
to
through
have to
the day.
I used to have to take Xanax to go to sleep because I was drinking so much and doing so many drugs that I couldn't shut my brain off at night. And then,
Yeah.
what woke me up from that was when Michael Jackson died. I was taking Xanax at that time, and they were saying he was taking like 20 pills a day. And I had already figured out that your body builds up a tolerance to a drug like Xanax, so you need more and more and more. I mean, I still remember the first one I ever took. It was the best feeling. I felt like I laid down on a cloud and floated away. And then, it never really felt that good again, like most drugs.
What was weird is someone brought it to my attention when I got off all the sleepy pills and I got off all the Xanax and I was not drinking anymore. I was still taking the substance called kratom.
Mhm.
And people were telling me, like, bro, you're still on it. You're still on drugs. I'm like, nah, bullshit. This stuff, you can buy this at 7-Eleven. What are you talking about? I'm good. I'm good. No, that was bad too, man. And
What the hell was that stuff we used to buy in college? There was this, I can't remember the name. It was like an over-the-counter speed, basically. And we would
truckers love
drink.
it.
You,
There's a
it was something like that. It
mini
had a
thins, right?
mini thins.
Yeah, mini
Mini
thins.
thin. We used to get
Yeah.
shit faced and take mini thins. So, feel like you have spiders all over your head
Yes,
and shit.
bro.
We were
Dude.
crazy, man. We did the stupidest shit. And again, like of course I would never go that far now. I'm not a young, crazy kid, but I still don't trust myself on a drink or two because then you're like, oh, whatever, I can have one more and then drive home. It's only
You've lowered
three.
your tolerance, dude.
Oh yeah. I mean,
Now that you've been sober, your tolerance is low.
oh yeah. Look, I'm not thinking about it. I'm very focused on this year getting rid of more bad habits, not adding other bad habits that I got over already back in.
I think 2020 was like a portal year, and I think 2024 is another one. And I think what we do this year is going to set the pace for the next 1,000 years, whatever. I
Yeah.
think at least in our lifetimes, whatever decision you decide to make right now is going to last the rest of your lifetime if you do it now. And I think this is the moment, this is the time that we all need to, just like your shirt says, rise up, dude. We got to really put the bad habits behind us and make a change, make a difference like we're doing. And it's not easy. It's not easy. This is the, and then, people always tell me like, oh, here's another thing I get. And I'm sure you get the same thing. Like, well, you don't hang out with us anymore. You don't talk to us anymore. And it's not that I think I'm better than anybody. It's just that I don't think I'm strong enough at this point in my life to lift someone else up into my onto the platform I'm on. I can't lift anybody up.
Yeah.
I am not strong enough. You'll pull me down. So I'm staying away out of fear.
Yeah. I mean,
Out of
I had kind of gotten out of the party scene, so I don't get that much. And like my friends from home that still drink a lot, like I said, I'll go out with them. I won't go out with them like out drinking at bars at night because there's too much crazy stuff that can happen there. But like again, I'll play golf with the buddy. This happened a few months ago. He's like, "Well, let's have some beers after the round." I'm like, "Okay, but I'm gonna have a non-alcoholic beer." So I did. And he's like, have another one. Sure, why not? Having fun talking, reminiscing what it felt like to sit at a bar and drink beers. Next thing you know, I'm his crutch for him to have an excuse to keep drinking. I'm like, dude, you can keep drinking. How many non-alcoholic beers do you think I'm going to drink? What's the
Yeah,
point? Like
yeah,
two or three is a lot.
yeah, yeah. I had one. I had a no duels like a few months back, and I got a horrible acid reflux the next day. And I
And
was
your
like,
body
that's
was
a sign
going,
to
don't,
me.
yeah, your body was
Yeah,
like, don't do that.
yeah, exactly. That's how I see it.
Yeah.
I don't know, Mike. I wanted to bring you on because I know that we're both in the same struggle. We're both in the same fight.
Yeah.
And I just wanted to get your input, man,
Yeah.
because
Well, look, when I left the music business, Nino, I said to God, you tell me what to do. This is not working for me the way I'm doing. I feel like I'm swimming upstream. And he had me write a book, which was about golf, but it's not about golf. It was about me publicly talking about all the things that I need to work on so that I would put my ass on the line and be held accountable because I'm the type of guy that I never want to be one of those people that's full of shit. If I say something to you, I mean it, period. And so I've been on that journey for 10 years now, but when 2020 hit, that really ramped it up. These last, 4 years have been very intense, obviously. And it's, as you said, as we keep saying, this year we can all tell, everybody can feel it. It's only going to be more intense. So
have
we've
you
got to
noticed?
we've got to have our
um,
best.
Have you noticed? It's like this comes to my mind that my buddy owned a ranch, and one time we were driving in his truck, and he was pointing out to all the birds that were flying real low, and the cattle was bunching together. And he goes, "You know what that means, right?" And it was sunny, dude. It was sunny. And he was telling me that means a storm's coming. And I was like, get the fuck out. Are you serious? And he's like, yeah, storm's coming. And sure as shit, dude, like about 6, 7 hours later, a storm came in, a big one. They
Mhm.
felt that like electric charge or something.
Yep.
As I think humanity right now, we all feel, look what's happening in the Middle East. Look what's happening in Israel. Look what's happening with China, Taiwan. I mean, it's go time. It's
Mhm.
like, it's almost like as we're going into this shift, it's like who wants to control the timeline? Who's going to control the rest of the next 1,000 years? Maybe the next 50,000 years, maybe the next 100,000 years. I don't know, but
Yeah.
this is an important time for whatever reason. This time right now, especially this year, 2024, is the pinnacle year of control. Whoever wins this wins the whole damn Casino Royale.
And because of that, each one of us, no matter how awake we are or how asleep we are, we're all going to take some serious gut punches this year. People that we thought were on our side that aren't, people and vice versa, people that we thought were
Dude,
bad and weren't. Like it's going to be, I don't even know the right word for it.
it's brutal, bro.
Shocking,
Yeah.
shocking, brutal.
I've seen turncoats already.
Sure.
And I'm like, wow, man, I thought you were my friend. And people just coming out spreading lies,
Yeah.
blatant fucking lies.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you know what, man? People need to use their own discernment and decide what they're going to do from here, because I can only do so much. This kind of just happened to me. I didn't force this on anybody. I
Right.
didn't ask that. This was all an accident.
Yeah.
And what we're seeing right now, especially within the Patriot community, dude, I cannot believe what I'm seeing. Dude,
It's
and I
just the
compare it to
beginning.
like a bad vampire movie. Like when you
Yeah.
get bit, you're like you're with your friend, and the next thing you know, he turns at you and he's like, ah. You're like, whoa,
Yeah.
you're one of them too. And it's like, oh, he
Exactly.
got bit.
Totally. That's coming. And what's coming for the people that haven't woken up is the truth about the ding and the thing that you write on a piece of paper and then they change it. All that, all those truths are coming out, man.
Oh, it's
And
gonna be brutal this
but
year.
even for us, we're having what you said, people we thought that were on our side that aren't, and big names too. There will be some big names, and there will be it's just going to be unpredictably chaotic. But I do feel and I do believe that it ends very well towards the end of 24, beginning of 25. I just feel it. And
I
so it's
agree.
really a matter of survival. And again, how are you going to survive? Don't take dumb chances.
Yeah, take calculated risks if you're gonna take a risk at all. Maybe this isn't the year to even take a risk. I don't know.
People are telling me, oh, hey, we should go here and do this, a Patriot event. We should, do this tour. I'm like, guys, I don't know what you're talking about, but my intuition from God is telling me stay put, hunker down. There's
I'm getting
going
the
to be
same.
some, you talk about that all the time. There's going to be some really, really bad kinetic parts to this in our country, probably this year.
Yeah, you could just show up to the wrong event and then guess what? Just like on J6, some wacky shit goes down, you're a part of it, now you're arrested. I mean, who knows?
It could be
That's why
like
I do.
the Super Bowl. Who the hell wants to go to the Super Bowl at this point? First of all, the cheapest tickets are like $2,500, 3 grand now, which is a joke. Just like 15 years ago, they were like $400. But why would you want to be around that many people that could be made into a target by a number of different evil people?
Yeah.
Like
And
I just don't want to do that.
not to mention they're going to be targeting events that like that with all these illegal immigrants coming in. What better thing to hit than a Super Bowl? I mean, you just don't know.
They had it at the Army Navy game, was at Foxborough, at the Patriot Stadium. Now, normally at the last year when they had the Army Navy game there, first of all veterans had the chance to buy a ticket first. They didn't do that this year. They gave them all to the season ticket holders and made them buy them. But that's not the big problem. There's 2 hotels there, and no veterans could stay in those hotels to go watch the Army Navy game. Why? They were filled with illegal immigrants.
Yeah, immigrants. Good job. YouTube. Yeah. So I mean,
Dude, you're my hero that you could still hang out here. I would never, I would never, I have too big of a mouth. I just start popping off to everybody and then they turn me
I,
off.
bro, it's been, you know what it is? It's like boxing. It's like stick and move and bob and weave. And like I'm doing
Yeah,
all that. It's fucking tiring. It's
I know
tiring.
that. That's what I'm saying, man. Like that's why you're my hero, because I know how tiring it is just to come, like not tonight, because it's just you and I chatting, like there's no big deal. But if I had again, like looking over my shoulder, what am I going to say? I have people on my show telling me you swear too much. I'm like, yeah, well, there's kids doing awful things to children all over this world.
Yeah.
When you end that, I'll worry about my language. How about that?
Exactly. Yeah,
And
I
I've
get it all. I
actually
get
made that promise that when we remove that problem, I promise you when it's gone from the whole world, I promise I'll never swear again. That's how much that means to me. It's
it.
it's worth it. I would be happy to never swear again.
Dude, I'm with you. I just don't, I get so much criticism and ridicule. I get hateful emails, threatening emails. People really don't know what this entails, man. This shit. Like, I thought boxing was bad.
I'm just starting
Boxing,
to get a taste of going up into towards your weight class on the podcasting world,
yeah,
and they're
man.
already coming for me. And but
Yeah.
I grew up in Boston. My friends, I was on a text group with my friends. They say the most foul shit to me, and we do to each other, right? Just vicious shit
Oh, you're
talking.
You're Boston boy.
Yeah, my buddies from
Well, that's
Boston.
why.
And
Okay, that's why.
I'm like, guys, you realize what you did for me? You've trained me to laugh at these fools when they insult me online because they can never be as vicious as my own friends.
That's also El Paso, believe it or not. Border boys, dude. We're all
Yeah.
we're cutthroat, dude. Like we're always talking about each other's moms and shit, dude. Like
Yeah.
horrible
Yeah.
shit. Like,
Yeah.
and I tell you, and then you laugh and go out and drink. Like, dude, I'm talking terrible shit. Like, oh my god.
My buddy, there's a group of buddies from Boston that a handful of which have never told me in their life, I love you. but they tell me go fuck yourself, which means in their language, I love you. And I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
cool. I'll take it. However
Here's
you say
something.
that.
Here's something crazy. I have a friend that these dudes like they're best of friends, but they're like brothers. And I'm talking, they used to get in fist fights with each other, like with ugly, ugly fist fights. Okay. One night they're out together and they're fighting, and then I'm not gonna say their names in here, but
No
okay.
way.
And we're like, okay, this friendship's over. All right. If he doesn't die, this friendship's over. Bro, they were out together the next weekend. Like it never happened. I'm like, bro, you shot at him. You wanted to kill him. Oh, yeah, we're drunk, man. I'm like,
Again, that's why they call it spirits, because when you get drunk at that level, these dark spirits latch onto you and they literally take your flesh suit for a joyride. That
100%.
person would never do some stupid shit like that
When
sober.
you're drunk, everything's a great idea, right? It's like everything's like that. We're gonna do that. That sounds good. I'm gonna grab her ass, take her in the bathroom. And although, I mean, things like that happen, but how many times was it not a good idea?
It's never a good idea to do something like that. Unless
Constantly
she's giving you the look that tells
oh,
you she wants
well,
you to.
I'll say this. It's the climate, the atmosphere wasn't like it is now.
No, no.
It was more like, oh, game on. It wasn't like it is now. Like now, this is a different animal, man. This
Again,
is a
why I've
different
stayed
animal.
out of it, right? Like I can't put myself, especially with the poison that people have put into their bodies. We don't know what the repercussions of that are. So how could I even like I have to go around and ask that question on a first date? Like, dude, I don't even want to deal with that. I'd rather stay home and do and work.
Man, it's just one of those sacrifices, and we have a lot of them. And this is only going to intensify. It's only going to get harder. And I wanted to bring you on the show today because I wanted to introduce you to my audience and just commend you in the fight you're in.
Thank you.
Because I'll be honest, nobody really did that for me. When I quit drinking, I was on my own, and I had to make it public. And people asked me, why did you make your sobriety public? And I was like, because I need to be held accountable.
Hmm.
And I knew that would help me, and my audience helped me get sober. So, folks, Michael Zildjian, right? Zildjian.
Zildjian, yeah. Well,
Yeah, like the
before you
dancing.
end, I just want to thank you because
Yeah.
guys out there, Nino's fans, Nino didn't know me. We had done one show together. We have a lot of mutual friends. I told him I was quitting drinking. He said, dude, call me or text me whenever you want. I'll answer. And he's kept to that. And he didn't have to do that. And so I just want to thank you, dude. That's meant a lot to me. It's been I haven't had that many moments where I really, really needed someone, but just having a sounding board there that knows what I'm dealing with has been immeasurable. So find someone like Nino that can support you.
Thank you. Um, I didn't have a sponsor. I don't have a sponsor, but anytime you text me, even if I don't answer, keep texting me. I will get back to you. You know
You've
that.
never not texted me back when I've texted you about
Oh,
drinking. Every single time you've texted me back. There's other stuff I've texted you back. You haven't. And I'm like, all right, Nino's busy. No big deal. But every time I've texted you about drinking, you've texted me back. Every time.
because I know the struggle.
Yeah.
Mike, thanks for coming on, man. Where can people find you?
Thanks for having me. Yeah. 𝗀𝗇𝐿𝐴 for all on Rumble, Truth and Telegram. Got a really, really big show tomorrow night on Rumble that I can't
Philosophy.
read.
Spell that out for everyone.
It's 𝗀𝗇𝐿𝐴, so like the ZIL in my last name, Zildjian, but it's philosophy, but with a Z. ZILOSOPHY.
Okay.
The number 4, all. So if you see this logo on any of those channels, that's me.
All right, cool. Mike, thanks for coming on, brother, man. Let's do some more
Yeah.
shows. We did a little
Whenever you want.
holidays.
I was about to get into bed. Nino's like, I want to do a podcast. I was like, okay, I'm not going to bed. I'm going to hang out with Nino. All
Hey, thanks, man. I just
right,
want to know
brother.
something out, man. I appreciate you, and let's keep in touch. And we're doing a roundtable soon, aren't we, or no?
Oh yeah, that's right. On Tuesday, we're doing a Secret Societies roundtable with Kathy
Cool.
O'Brien and SG and Nino and me.
Let's go. Let's go. What? Hold on. I don't even have that down.
Yeah, it's
Well,
three
that's all.
o'clock Mountain Time, so 3 o'clock your time,
When are we doing this? Tuesday?
Tuesday.
Oh, I got you. I got you at 3 o'clock. All right, cool.
Yeah.
Awesome. I do have it down. All right. All right, Mike, take it easy. All right,
All right.
folks. Listen,
Thanks,
let me
bro.
just end this with like this. Whatever you got staring you down right now, whatever demons you got staring you down, you can beat them. It could be a constant struggle, it could be hard, but you can do this. And I wanted to bring Mike on to let you know, he's an example. I'm an example. We're doing it together. You guys can join us and do it the same way, whether you're on pills, whether you're a sex addict, whether you're alcohol, it doesn't matter. You can stop this shit. And this is the year to do it, right, Mike?
Absolutely. If we can do it, you can do it. There's no
Cool.
question.
All right, Mike, take it easy, my man. All right, folks, leave comments
brother.
down below, like and share this video, por favor. Later.